Alright. Ready, go, 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 go. It's block 15, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ha! It crashed.
Mm.
The game shit. Okay. I'm booting it up again.
Okay, well, I wait then.
Okay. It always does this when I have like more than like 2 input devices connected. It's really weird.
Me when game dog shouldn't crashes for absolutely no reason.
It really does.
I'm actually
I hate
surprised, like, the game barely ever crashes for me. When everyone is just fucking complaining about the game crashing 24/7.
Yeah, it's only done it for me this update though. It's really weird.
Okay, are you on yet?
Yep, back on. Re-invite me if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Let's hope my keys stay binded. Minimum value. C button 32. Air brake. Then flaps. Will be my final keybind. Right.
It gave me a lot of turning room with that separation. Here I regain speed on my way down and I pull you in while you go up. Because that's gonna make you very slow, it's gonna be very vulnerable. Like this.
I fucked it up.
Yeah, I think on merge you just gave me a lot of turning room, so I just literally got a lot of position for free. And then what I saw there is, like, you tried to go up, and you were also pulling a little bit too hard. So every single time I see somebody, like, do some vertical loops like that, and they try to go up, like, well, if they're going up, they're gonna have to deal with gravity, and that's gonna slow them down. So while they go up, they're eventually gonna be forced to either slow down or just pull a little bit too hard to not become a sit and duck. So that just basically means that they're very vulnerable. You just pull them in.
So I should go for a not as vertical of a mirror.
I mean, yeah, well, if you want to go vertical, you have to make sure you have a decent bit of speed to go through the vertical. The thing is, if you want to go vertical, and you're gonna be forced to spend some of your speed, like it or not, because if you relax your stick a little bit too much, you create separation. So yeah, you are retaining speed basically, but you basically give the other guy some more room. But also, you pull a little bit too hard, you basically become a sit-in duck. It's gonna take you a lot longer to go through the apex.
is a little bit hurt. I don't know how he's not dead.
Alright, right there, what I did is, I believe on your way down, you extended away a little bit too much, and you actually allowed me to get some separation, and you allowed me to regain a lot of speed, so I just immediately just cash in all of that speed to just pull you in.
Cooked.
But also, like, you're just getting into hoedowns. It's gonna take you quite a few weeks to get used to it properly, I guess.
Yeah, I fought Butters and it just kind of turned into fuel fights.
Against Butters, what planes? What planes?
It was F-15C and A versus SC-27.
Yeah. Okay, well, the F-15C doesn't really stand a chance. And the F-15A just should absolutely rinse the flanker, no matter what it is, what it does. But the thing is, well, against Butters, like, I've fought against him way too fucking much, so he knows exactly how to counter the flanker very easily, and that's just basically use the F-15A and raid fight with a lot of verticality. So you never have the opportunity to just pull him in. So yeah, it's not as bad as fighting against Chesapeake, but Butters definitely can. Eventually, a lot of the raid fights with Butters just turn into fuel fights. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
Here again, I have separation and I have speed to pull you in.
How do I do that? Do I just try and go under you?
Yeah, you just try to jink and try to make me miss. Here I have speed. I'm gonna try to pull you in once again before you get down. Yeah, to be honest, like, F-16 fly model onwards, the matchups are way too unforgiving, because these planes are just way too fucking strong. So what happened there is, I didn't really, like, have that much speed, but we had a little bit of separation, and I also saw you were going a little bit too slow. And, well, it just happens that this fly model was just overpowered enough, so even with barely any speed, I was still able to pull you in. So, if you want a raid fight, you should never really aim for a specific speed. You should always try to raid fight relative to your opponent and to maintain proper separation, because if you're going too fast and you stay fast for a little bit too long, you create a lot of separation, and your opponent can just use that to do whatever he wants. You basically give him a lot of time to do whatever it is that he needs to do. Fix his mistakes, even. So...
Oh, like this?
Yeah, here I have speed, and I'm basically very, very close to you. I have enough energy to just pull you in. And here we have an offset in my favor, because I'm very close to your 6, so I'm gonna try again. I'm just gonna pull you in. Slowly, slowly. And here. So what I'm basically doing now is, I'm basically just trying to raid fight. I'm basically just trying to follow you, and I think the offset I'm creating basically allows me to... There's gonna be some parts of the trajectory that allows me to get some separation from you, and if I have speed in that trajectory, I can just catch it in and pull you in. So it's basically me knowing the capabilities of this plane being fucking busted, and you know, the very moment I notice there's a little bit too much separation between us, that I know for a fact I can pull you in, that's exactly what I do. So here, I think you might not be pulling hard enough on merge. Here, I'm just horizontal. I'm gonna start diving like this. I'm gonna sacrifice a little bit of my altitude for speed. Like this. And I'm just gonna keep raid fighting you. I think you're getting a little bit too slow there, maybe. I'm gonna stay above you. I'm gonna start going down to regain my speed, and here you're trying to go for a stall fight. I'm not gonna go for it, I'm just gonna keep race fighting.
Okay.
I'm a little bit too slow, so instead of going vertical, I just go flat, because it's cheaper. I don't have to lose that much speed. Here you might have had an opportunity to pull me in. There, yeah.
I wasn't bad at the game.
I'm gonna stay away from your nose. I'm gonna regain a little bit of my speed on my way down. And here I'm gonna cash in all that speed, pull the flaps, and see if I can pull you in and go aggressive on you.
No.
Not quite. So I switch to damping again. I regain my speed. I regain a little bit of speed on my way down. And then I use the speed to get through the vertical.
Very slow.
I'm gonna regain speed here. So I extended the way in there to create separation and regain some of my speed, and that just basically allows me to create an offset. And here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna regain speed. I have an offset relative to you, and here I'm just gonna pull you in. Missed. But the offset still exists, so I can still try again here. I regain speed on my way down, and I use the speed to just pull you in.
No. Oh, that kind of hurt.
Well, that was a little bit better. Like, you got an opportunity at the beginning, but again, aim.
Yeah. Hard to aim with this.
In a few rounds, I'm gonna start taking more fuel because I actually want you to get some more opportunities for practice.
Okay.
I think this is also one of the main reasons why I don't really like when people fly the flanker too much, because the flanker is a plane that, well, it's only good for raid fighting and it's garbage when cashing in speed. So you transition to a plane that's actually better, like the F-16, and you get a lot more opportunities for going aggressive because the plane is just that much better. Like here, I guess they had the better merge, so now I'm basically very close to your 6. All I have to do is just be patient and reel you in. Here I'm gonna regain speed on my way down, and I'm gonna use it to pull you in. Not quite. So I'm gonna regain my speed and try again. I'm gonna regain my speed on my way down. And here I think you're getting a little bit too slow.
Yeah, I'm at 450. Ouch.
So yeah, on those vertical loops, I usually, like on my way down, I try to regain a little bit of speed, because not only do I get speed back, but it also basically means that I create some separation, and I can create an offset. So, you know how a raid fight is just 2 circles on top of each other?
Yes.
Well, if we create an offset, just basically means that those circles like overlap a little bit further away. So there's going to be some areas of those circles where we get very close, and there's going to be another area where we get very far. So if I manage to time correctly where we are about to get very far, so I can get a deflection shot on you, I'm just gonna cash in all my energy and pull you in. So that's what I did there. On those vertical loops, I just regained speed on my way down, so I can then use that speed to go through the vertical a little bit quicker. And if I actually have the opportunity to pull you in, then I just do that. because while you go up is gonna be your most vulnerable area, since you're gonna be forced to just pull hard to, because you know you have to deal with gravity. So that basically means when you go up on those vertical loops is where you're going to be the most vulnerable. So here I regain a little bit of speed, just enough to keep following you up. And I need to make sure I'm fast enough to get through the apex. Now here we don't really have an offset, so I'm gonna extend away just a little bit, like this. I'm gonna regain some speed. And I'm basically creating separation right now. I'm just retaining my speed, creating some distance while staying away from your nose. And here I'm gonna try to regain my speed as quickly as I can and see if I can pull you in. Here you're very slow on that vertical, so I'm gonna regain speed on my way down, and I'm gonna use it to pull you in. Okay, well, fair enough.
Okay, I'm gonna take 40% fuel. That's a little bit more.
No, I should be the one taking more, because I'm winning.
Oh. Okay. Well, I mean to extend the fights, because I was low on fuel.
Oh, okay. Now let me respawn and take 40%.
Okay.
Do you use manual control at all?
Yes, that's what I'm using. But I'm not sure whether I should just pull full back on the stick.
On merge, you should always
All
use
the
manual
time.
control. Yeah, on merge, you should always use manual control because it allows you to pull more Gs. So on merge, you use manual control, pull a fuck ton of Gs, and then, like, after a few seconds, when you get to, like, maybe 400 knots or 800 kph, you can just switch to damping and fly normally after that.
This feels weird. Ooh. Have me here, I think.
Almost, but I'm already, like, very glued to your 6. So all I have to do is regain a little bit of speed and try again. I think what happens right now is you're merging, like you're going vertical on merge, and I'm going like kind of diagonal, horizontal. And what I'm basically doing is I'm kind of doing an uppercut on your trajectory. So it basically means like I'm kind of taking a shortcut, so to say. And it just basically means I'm gaining a decent bit of position right on merge. And I'm just basically working my way from there. So here I went like a little bit diagonal, not exactly full vertical, not exactly flat. That basically allows me to gain some altitude initially, which I can use later. Here I'm gonna stay behind your nose. I'm gonna wait for you to get slow like this. I'm not gonna take the stall fight. And here I pull the flaps down, and I wanna see if I can intercept your trajectory here.
No.
There. Yeah, so on that reversal, I think you did a little bit too early. because I had a just enough speed and separation to react in time. So what I basically did is I just pulled away from your nose. I'm just gonna let you waste your speed, and I'm gonna stay behind you. And then on your way down, I just basically pull a fuck ton of lead to intercept your trajectory. That's what I did.
Okay.
Alright, next one, I'm gonna take 50% fuel. You can stay at 40. Or you can just drop back to minimum.
I'll continue taking 40.
Okay, so this is one circle. I'm gonna slow down and stay inside your turn, like this, so you don't get nose on immediately, and I go up. And here, because you continue to turn, you allow him to take a shortcut and intercept your flight path, like this. Missed. I still have a little bit.
Yeah, there's something I can do here. I don't think.
Alright, let me think for a moment what you could have done on that merge. I think the very moment like we merged into each other on that one circle, I basically slowed down a lot to stay inside your turn, and I went vertical. So what you could have done is you could have just extended away a little bit, just maintain your speed, because I basically slowed down to stay inside your turn, and I also went vertical, which is very expensive. So you could have just extended away and just retain your speed and go to a right fight. But instead, you just kept turning hard and hard and hard. So just basically means that I was in a better position, and since we were both slow, then like there's not really much you can do. I already spawned in.
Okay.
Let me reset. I'm gonna reset. Okay, so if you want, we can just try that exact same merge one more time. But whenever, so what I'm gonna do is just gonna go one circle, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slow down immediately to stay inside your turn, and I'm gonna go vertical. And you saw me go vertical next to you, right? So what you have to do in there is you just have to extend away and retain your speed, and maybe even go up. You can use the little excess speed you have to go vertical, because I won't be able to follow you too well. So it basically just means you just extend into a right fight like this. We go on the same turn. I'm gonna be a little bit slower than you. I'm gonna stay inside your turn, and here I go up. No, you're reversing in front of me. I think instead you should have kept going horizontal and then slowly start going vertical. Hello, Pizza. Doing fine. Trying to be teacher today.
Hey guys.
Hello, Cletus.
Hello.
You dueling Cypher?
Yeah, we're dueling, and I'm trying to give him some feedback. Alright, I'm spawning in.
Okay.
I'm trying to learn the J11A.
I can't alt tab or else it crashes my game.
Eric and Cletus.
Hello, my sweet little people.
Yeah.
Cletus, do you want to?
Alright, here's what. Let's do the exact same merge, but I'm gonna merge a lot faster, so you are the one inside my turn.
Okay.
I'm gonna show you exactly how I would react. So here we are inside my turn, and then you're now forced to kind of turn another direction like this. So because I'm faster, I'm gonna transition this into more verticality and gain some altitude relative to you. So you saw how I basically extended the way horizontally and then I slowly went vertical. So here I'm going a little bit too fast, so I'm gonna transition all of that excess speed into altitude, and here I can land on top of you because you're a little bit too slow, right?
What do I do about it?
I pull the flaps, get some more lift. There we go. So on that one circle, if you see like on merge, the guy kind of gets inside your turn, you can kind of jink in case he wants to take a shot, and then you just basically you try to fly away a little bit because you have more speed on him. He basically cashed in all that energy for a gamble, so to say. So he took a chance, he lost it, and he also lost a lot of speed in the process. So if you're faster, you can just always go into a raid fight and maybe get some verticality, because you know if he is at low altitude slow, he will not have enough speed to follow you up. So always remember, gaining altitude is gonna be more expensive because you have to fight gravity. So you know, if you have speed and you decide to gain some verticality before they can speed up, that basically means you're energy trapping them. So here, I'm gonna get inside your turn. So I'm basically slowing down, pulling really hard without the afterburner. And here I go up.
Extend away from him, and then
Yeah, go up, start going up.
Bye.
I'm very slow right now, so you better make that count. So I think right now we might be a little bit neutral. I think you might be faster than me. So here I'm gonna slightly regain some speed. Here you can maybe try to regain some speed on your way down and kill me when I try to go up. Right now, you're closer to my 6 than I am to yours, so you have the advantage. I'm gonna regain my speed on my way down, so I can actually afford to go up. Like this. You wanna take the fucking stall fight? I'm gonna try to avoid it. I'm gonna stay away from your nose. Gain some verticality. See, I can maybe rotate over my own axis with rudder, like this. Nope. Plane is too slow. I wanna see if I can go to the deck to start regaining speed and take this into a raid fight. So I'm just regaining my speed earlier than you. I'm gonna try to raid fire after this. I use some verticality, that way it's a little bit more difficult for you to follow me. And here I think I have enough speed to pull you in. Maybe not. Avoid that. And here I reverse. Pull the flaps and intercept your flight path.
I was so close to perfection.
So close.
Then
Yeah.
you got the same syndrome I got when using the Vulcan. You just fucking overlead immediately because you're used to the fucking Kush 20 at this point.
Well, with this thing you can actually just cut across the entire flight path, and some bullets are bound to hit.
Yeah. You can just spray it. Especially in duels, you can just spray, it doesn't matter.
There's an Alex 137 reference.
Wow, the Dodger of all main mention? Where is he now? Oh, he's not playing the game anymore.
Where's Alex 137?
Alright, here I'm gonna merge a little bit faster. I'm gonna go full vertical and just raid fight completely. Full vertical. Try to trade on offset immediately. I don't want to get too close to you. Like, I don't want my trajectory to be that close. Here, I think you just allow me to cut across downwards and take a shortcut. Close. I still have speed. I still have position.
Is it dishonorable to extend away? Yes.
I mean, well, I'm still on your 6, so you can kind of cook something. But if you extend away like that, you're kind of basically gambling on me missing my shots again. But I'm still going to be on your 6. Here I take a shortcut to your flight path. If you go up, I stay inside your turn. Okay, here you're gonna try to stall fight. I'm just gonna stay away from your nose as much as I can. Oh!
Yo!
Unfortunate.
I'm crying right now. Hello? Oh my, I'm cooked. I'm cooked. I'm dead. Fuck, that was so close.
Very close.
This close to perfection.
What's up?
Drooling.
Oh my
Indeed,
God.
drooling. Drooling the hog.
I'm drooling all over myself right now.
It's all over my shirt.
Cletus.
One circle, I'm gonna slow the fuck down. I'm gonna try to get inside your turn. Like this, and then I go up.
I actually want to try something.
Oh. Okay.
Well, that didn't work.
Cletus. Go.
I'm gonna regain my speed on my way down. I think he just gave me a lot of turning room to recover my speed.
That's not a fucking phantom. Why is it friendly? This update sucks. What the fuck?
Yikes.
Yep, he's dead.
Okay, what you did worked. What you did worked initially, but then you kind of gave me way too much turning room to recover my speed. So I think you might have had a little chance to cook there, but it probably took you a little bit too long. So on that merge, like I basically slowed down, got inside your turn, and then I went up, and then like you decided to turn very hard towards me, so you basically kind of negated my little position. And then like what you did after was fine, but it probably took you a little bit too long, and you allowed me to regain my speed. Here we go for a raid fight. I'm going a little bit too fast. I'm gonna start getting a little bit of altitude.
Then, can we run some like F-16C versus J11B at some point?
Ah, I don't have American planes. I have Italian planes dressed up as American planes.
Oh, I know. I was asking Sen. Not that you wouldn't kick my ass, but you know.
You said in for a second. I was so confused.
Yeah, my mic's shit. It sounds like fucking whatever. Don't blame you.
That could be an issue.
Speed.
Very close. Oh, flat spin. No, no.
Yeah, that could be fatal. That could be fatal. It's every round. I am this close. I am this close.
Look, you're getting close to like fucking
The one frag. Yeah, the one frag.
to the
of
one
this
frag you're gonna
match.
get against Sin, and then he's gonna start dropping his fuel again, and you're gonna get pilot sniped by a J7D.
Fucking J70 is so hilarious, dude.
I kind of clip farmed that for you, but that was funny as fuck,
Hi,
bro.
Sin. You just fucking
Hi, Sin.
blow his brains out.
It's like that one clip. Hold on, let me see if we can find it. One clip of fucking George Clooney shooting Brad Pitt in the face.
Air brake on. Pull up. Pull up.
Here I emerged a little bit faster and I went full vertical, so I can get some initial altitude right from the get-go. I think I lost. Oh, there you go.
Hold on. Ah.
No, fuck. I lost my chance.
Is it over?
You better not miss. You better not miss the shots.
I can barely see you. I don't even have my keybind for look up or radar lock. I'm going off of pure memory, muscle memory, as they say.
Ooh, we're spawn camping them. Ooh, the salt's flooding. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
The first and final one of this match.
Gotta believe.
Okay.
Not me missing the shots on the only opportunity I had.
Power planes here.
I guess everyone's washed.
Real.
I had like 2 weeks where I was hitting every single shot, and then this week I've missed every single one.
Unironically,
Except for
one of my most accurate guns to use recently has been the fucking Goosey, but every single fucking time I hit, it's always a hit, and the guy just fucking flips around and kills me because the fucking piece of garbage doesn't do any damage.
Yeah, the guns in this game are modeled horribly wrong, dude. It's actually hits. There's no way that either China or Russia would use the Gush 23 for so long if it wasn't effective. There's no fucking way.
China relies on the VR, so the guns just have to be actually.
Ow.
Bro has no wings.
Also, the velocity.
It's an F-104.
It's fucking fast, bro.
Bro, it's an
I mean-
F-104.
It's going to be shell hitting a plane.
You disintegrate, bro. If you get hit with anything bigger than a fucking 20mm, or just a 20mm in general, you
Dude,
fucking explode. You die.
I remember like one of the streams from like last week or something when I was still playing the J7E. Like it has a 30mm, but it's basically kind of just as bad as the Goosey. I remember like just chasing a fucking aardvark in this fucking stratosphere, and
same.
I had to land like 20 shots on him, like not fired, just actually hit like 20 shots to fucking kill him because everything was a hit.
The only thing, the way I did it when I was playing J7E during the event to get some stars and shit and just fuck around, if I saw an aardvark, I would just fly as close as I could to the rear and just fire like any remaining ammo I had left into the engines. Wait half a year for it to drop to the ground. Because apparently taking, 30mm rounds directly into your engine intake is only severe damage, so it means you can probably land. Maybe, It's only critical damage, you're not completely written off.
Hey, I have no energy left.
I mean, to be honest, F-111 can't fly for shit, so they
Hi, Cyber.
Huh? Up!
Yeah.
Poor fucking bastard. But I mean, what was damage models are kind of very good anyway.
GSH-23 was meant for bombers anyway. Well, if it's for bombers, why is it a fucking hit simulator against fighters?
That's meant for... Well, it's meant for bombers, not for fighters. Dummy.
Oh yeah, true, yeah. Surely the fighters are more resistant to bullets than...
I got a good one for you guys. Stalinus42359. Guys, how could I tell the difference between friendly and enemy on radar?
Oh boy.
He's killed 2 people with R27s. He's hard locking them and hasn't been kicked out of the game yet. Guess what plane he's in?
SU-30.
33. This guy, bro. I'm new to air battles, and
Man, I know it's wrong making fun of people who are inexperienced, but like holy fuck, you're a top tier without knowing jack shit about the game. And it's not really the player's fault. It's fucking Gaijin selling all the shit for them.
Let's see what he plays the most. TS-38 and T-55 AMD 1 man. Yeah, okay. That's at that point you
He
have
deserves
to
it.
I think that fuck is PD locking me for this class?
They was landing with the J11 and I kept getting into the nothing. So it fucking exploded from R-70 behind. I can really even land my J11.
No, my R-77.
Yeah.
F-16A tried to multi-path rat me and got vertical notches. Eat shit. Eat shit. How do you die to a stock flanker, bro? How do you die to any stock flanker? It's embarrassing.
By the way, keep the comms clean a little bit because I just wanna keep the commentary on the stream just clean for him to rewatch. use AP belts on it. Fuck no. It's garbage. I think on every single gun in the game you're better off just using like normal belts. Well, especially in high tier ones, because what fucking difference does it make? Okay, here I go vertical and get some initial altitude, because I merge a little bit faster. And here I'm just flat horizontal, just right fighting normally, until I see an opening. Seems like you wanna go up, you wanna go for a stall fight maybe? Nope. Not really. So here I'm gonna start cutting across. See if I can maybe intercept your flight path when you decide to go down. You did. You probably cut in a little bit too much.
Yeah.
So you basically gave me an opportunity to take a... You gave me an opportunity to take a huge shortcut. I can do a couple more rounds. Do not make the stream like super long. So you can rewatch it later if you want.
Yes, please. Thank you for the duels.
Air brake on.
Of course, as always. Hey, I get to inflate my ego while teaching people. Isn't that fucking coded?
It's fun.
Air brake on.
That was me, sorry. One circle, I'm gonna go vertical this time. I wanna beat the energy fighter. Again, regain my speed on my way down, so I can then afford to go up. Here you're giving me another opportunity to just cut across and take a shortcut to your flight path. Like again, remember, the raid fighting is just basically chasing your opponent's tail. You need to try to aim your trajectory towards your opponent's tail. And if you break that trajectory too much, you basically allow your opponent to basically take a shortcut to where you're going to be. And I think that's the biggest issue. Like that's probably still the biggest issue you're having right now. So like raid fights are usually going well initially, but then one of the turns you make, you basically allow me to take a shortcut to your flight path and intercept you. And the thing is, well, in this plane, that can actually be punished a lot more harshly compared to the flanker. That's why I don't really like when people play the flanker too much as a dueling plane, because the flanker is really fucking terrible for teaching people when to read context clues and go aggressive, because the plane is so fucking dog shit for actually cashing in energy. But you can see on the F-16 that every single tiny little opening I get, I immediately punish you for it.
Yes, I can know that very well. What's that?
Here, once again, you're not flying towards my tail, you basically allow me to take another shortcut. Kind of. I don't quite have the energy to follow that, so I'm gonna regain my speed on my way down. I need to regain my speed on my way down, that way I can actually afford to go vertical. Use this tiny little bit of speed to get through the apex. Here I'm gonna relax my stick and regain some speed while creating some separation. And here I might have enough speed to pull you in. Alright, I'll do a couple
Quiet
more.
even.
Okay.
Air brake on. Hold on. Air brake on. Air brake on. Pull up. Air brake on. Pull up. Overgee. 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 Overgee.
Here, I think you got way too slow. I try to transition this
Yeah.
into vertical loops. I'm still too slow, so I cannot pull you in just yet. Oh, maybe? Maybe? Nice, good try. Nice try, okay. Here, just aim the shots. Oh, not quite.
Yeah. Unfortunate for me. For you, it's quite good.
Nah, I'm still kind of cooked. I'm insanely slow. I cannot really do anything right now.
Is Pro winning the duels or losing?
I am losing horrifically. Horrifically, I dare say.
The most horrifically I've ever seen. I could never see anybody who can lose so bad.
There,
This poor guy.
use manual control, just pull me in. You could have used some AoA in there.
It's on. I'm flying with manual.
Should just pull him in the hood, bro. Win.
Yes, so true. Thank you. Yes.
Hey, just pull me in, just win, bro. Just pull me in and win.
Yeah, just pull him in and win, dude. So
Here,
easy.
I managed to transition this into a raid fight. I'm regaining a little bit of speed. I'm regaining speed a little bit earlier than you are.
What's up?
Yeah.
See you back there.
Out here, you're extending away
They're in
way too
trouble.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, here you extended away way too much, so you basically gave me a lot of turning room to just regain my speed and get closer to gear 6.
Oh, nice. Nice job going under. Smalls there. That was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that's good. You can like on those shots when the guy is a little bit above, you can always use the ground as a shield because if he overcommits, he crashes. So here,
Yes.
I'm gonna regain a little bit of my speed so I can actually do and whatever I need to do and just pull you in like this. Oh, on the head on. Okay.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. Good job.
Ooh.
But by the way, Sin, I like pinged you like last night, so I don't know if you saw it, but so I know that you said the suggestion, like they're working on it now for the golden shower. Does that apply to all the Cs or just that one?
Yeah, all the Cs that have the exact same engine because they're reworking the engine curves, not exactly the fly model. As far as I know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you know
So wait,
how
does that mean it's
So you know how the F-15, like the F-15A and the F-15C is a massive difference, even though the airframe is
Yeah.
basically the exact same. And I don't think like yeah one is heavier, but I don't think that weight is really like what makes the biggest difference. It's just the fact that the engine curves on the 15C are just pure garbage. That's why it's so much worse.
yeah. All right, yeah, I understand. Yeah, so that's why it's so the engine is the reason why it's missing the 3 degrees.
Yeah, of course, of
Okay.
course, the weight is gonna make a significant difference, but it's mostly the engine curves.
Gotcha. That makes
This is
sense. All right.
actual fucking garbage.
Thanks, buddy.
Here I have enough speed to pull you in. See how the very top of the apex is where you're going to be very vulnerable.
Yeah.
So if I see you're going through the apex very slow, it means you're gonna be very vulnerable. So if I have speed, I'm just gonna pull you in. Just gonna catch it in.
Okay.
Yeah, at that point, you just got to try and pull him into the head-on at the top of the loop. But
Yeah.
like, obviously, since you're low on speed, it's going to be hard. And depending on where he is too, like it's difficult. But like, that's the only thing you can really do.
Yeah, that's actually GG's. I'm gonna call it here. Yeah, that's pretty much what I usually do on those vertical loops. Is I try to regain my speed a little bit on my way down to either get an offset or just regain my speed to afford to go through the vertical again. And the thing is, depending on which area you decide to extend away, you can create an offset while also regaining your speed. So, say for example, if you manage to create separation before he starts going up and you have enough speed, you can just do exactly what I just did, where you just regain speed on your way down and pull him in. So, yeah, vertical loops is basically just deciding when to extend away and how. Let me see if I can bring fucking paint. I'm gonna use paint. I don't have to paint 3D, but this one should be enough. See if you can get on the stream on Discord.
Okay, let me alt tab, see if my game crashes again. Okay, I don't think it did. Alright, let's see.
Okay, a little bit too much. Alright, so those vertical loops, like, they're not exactly perfect circles. They're more like, kind of like this. Like, both players are just traversing through the space, like here, right? And, like, the other player is just trying to follow the other. And those loops actually look like this. But, for the sake of simplicity, I'm just gonna make them circles, right? So, let's say we're doing vertical loops, and it's just kind of like a circle here. And we're both basically, like, overlapping each other almost perfectly. So it's gonna look like this. This is basically just vertical loops in this direction. So here, there is no offset at all, right? So we're basically like, our trajectories are overlapping each other. So what you could do to create an offset is, let's say, for example, I'm gonna make another circle here. So this is you, and the blue is gonna be me. So let's say, for example, I want to create an offset. Then what I can do is I can get through the apex. This is the apex. And I can extend away a little bit in this direction. And this actually allows me to get some separation from you while also regaining speed. And then, since I'm regaining speed a little bit here, I can then recommit a little bit. And I already have an offset. And I can maybe intercept you here. So what's happening is, during a lot of those loops, you got very slow in this area here. And remember, the loops are on this direction, so I think it's counterclockwise in this direction. So when you start going up like this, when this whole area, you're gonna get eventually very slow, because like it or not, you will have to pull hard enough in order to get through the vertical. Because if you extend away, you create separation like this. So if you relax the stick too much, you create separation. It just basically means the other guy can just pull you in and kill you, like, with less energy. So what I literally did is, because you got so slow on this area and I created an offset, that means I extended away in this direction a little bit. I regained my speed, and then I basically created an offset. Here you can see I'm basically gaining some separation from you. And then because I have speed, I can just actually afford to pull you in and kill you here before you can make it through the apex. So that's what was happening.
That makes sense.
Right? So on those vertical loops, instead of just monkey pulling the whole way, you should always try to keep an eye on what the separation is, if there's an offset or not. And if, for example, the offset already exists, so let's say it looks maybe like this. So here's an offset, there's a little bit of separation between us. Then maybe what it could have done here is, instead of extending away in this direction, because this would create way too much separation and just cause a head-on. So instead of extending away on this direction, I actually start regaining my speed kind of like here. So instead of regaining my speed in this direction, I regain my speed kind of like downwards a little bit more, or maybe here. Because the offset already exists, so I don't really need to create more separation. The separation is already there. So what I can do is, I can regain some more speed here. And then I can use this speed to actually maybe tighten down my trajectory here. Right? So it all comes down to you will need to regain speed on your way down, just a little bit, so you can actually afford to go up and maybe kill the guy. If he is vulnerable in this area, you can actually regain your speed and kill him here. Or the other reason why you want to regain a little bit of speed is so you are not as vulnerable in this area. Because remember, this is where you're going to spend the most of your speed, just going up and having to deal against gravity. And the thing is, you will need some speed so you can actually get through the apex as quickly as you can, and you can start regaining speed again.
And should I pull my flaps out at the tip of the apex if I'm slow, just to get my nose on?
Yeah, if you're
Just
like
to
actually
try.
very, very slow, you definitely need to use the flap so you can actually bring the nose down earlier, and maybe you can even cut afterburner a little bit and use manual control. Like manual control is definitely like probably the way to go, because manual overrides your AOA limit. So for example, on the F-16, I think the AOA limit with damping is 25 degrees. However, if you enable manual control, once you are that slow, like here, you can just exceed this very easily. So that actually allows you to bring the nose down earlier and start regaining some speed, and maybe just try to get away from the apex as soon as you can. So
Okay, that makes
whether
sense.
I would say whether or not you pull the flaps on the F-16 or any plane, like it really depends. I'm not really a super expert on the F-16, so of course sometimes when I'm very, very slow here, I pull the flaps to get through the apex a little bit more quickly. But I think flaps or manual control here is probably just enough. I think the main areas where I use the flaps on the F-16 is if I have a lot of speed and I really, really want to make a very sharp turn to pull you in. So I want to slow down, get some more lift, and just squeeze every single bit of my speed as much as I can to just tighten the radius. Then yeah, I use flaps there. Or on our stall fights, I drop the flaps all the way out to kind of reduce my downward momentum. So I basically float and lose altitude a little bit slower than you. So eventually you just end up falling like a little bit under me.
Okay.
But yeah, you can use flaps
That
here.
makes sense.
Yeah, you can use you can use flaps here, and you can use manual control, especially in the F-16. Because if you use damping, your plane is going to be limited to 25 degrees of AOA. If you use manual, you can easily exceed this to maybe 35, 40, which is already like decent. And I think on this whole stream, you will see there's a lot of situations where I'm trying to pull you into the HUD, and I use manual control at the last moment to get just a little bit of extra AOA and actually shoot at you. So that's another circumstance where you can actually use manual control to get a tiny bit more AOA just to get nose on. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm not exactly like a super expert on the F-16, and the thing is, manual control can sometimes be kind of a bitch to control, so you end up flat spinning and whatever. But yeah, I think on some of those situations, on some vertical loops, what I basically did is this is you, and you ended up getting a little bit too slow on this area. So this is the area of the vertical loop where you're going to be the most vulnerable. So what I was doing is I was basically looping with you, but I decided to extend away and create some separation to actually kill you. So the blue is me. And what I was doing is on some situations where like there wasn't enough separation between us, I ended up extending away a little bit in this direction to just create a little bit more separation between us and also regain my speed. And then because you were so slow here, I actually had the opportunity to just cash in all my speed, pull really hard, and intercept you here because you got so slow.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
All right, cool.
It does. Cool. Thank you very much.
And then the other thing that was happening on raid fights is imagine raid fighting is a sphere. So this is a sphere, 3-dimensional space, and red is you. Fuck, still circle. Okay, so the red is you, and the blue is me. So this is a sphere, so we're basically going all the way around the sphere, like in this direction, right? So this is a sphere. You imagine raid fighting is a sphere. I think
Okay.
what you were doing during most of the raid fights is, like, in a raid fight, you are supposed to be chasing your opponent's tail. You can maybe make some very tiny adjustments like this, And you can see, like, even if you turn slightly to the other direction, like, your opponent cannot really, like, take a huge shortcut or anything like that, so it's fine. And usually, if you make these changes, these tiny little turns correctly, while changing altitude or whatever, you can still get away with it, maybe cook something. But what you were doing is, you were basically doing this. Or this. And this basically means that during a raid fight, you basically allow me to cut across and take a huge shortcut to intercept you. Right? Same as this. So you can see here, all of this little line here, all of this is a little shortcut you allowed me to take to just gun you down. So this is basically what you were doing most of the time during those raid fights. So you can kind of change the direction a little bit, like maybe a little bit shallow like this. So you can see, even if you're changing direction, I cannot really gain that much from this, right? And sometimes these changes in direction happen while you gain altitude or lose altitude. So, you always have to raid fight, taking into account all 3 dimensions of space. So doing this is fine, but you were doing this stuff way too aggressively. And I think, like, by the minute 45 or 50 of these duels, you took a very aggressive turn, kind of like this, and you basically stopped chasing my tail whatsoever. So you basically just allowed me to just take a huge shortcut and just punish you for it.
Okay. And how do I negate that? I just keep flying a really straight, not obtuse line, but like in that situation.
The thing is, this thing you did here is basically like a reversal, way too far away. So it's kind of like flying in front of the opponent's guns, kind of. So on raid fights, what I usually do is I use a lot of verticality. I use a lot of changes in altitude to create an offset. So let me see if I can delete this. Here. So red is you, and blue is me. Sometimes during a raid fight, I will try to change my trajectory to something like maybe this. So I'm basically like trying to take you into, I don't know, I'm trying to bait you into turning into this direction so I can cut you off. What you have to make sure is, you always have to make sure that around the circle, around the sphere, you're always pointing your trajectory towards my tail. You always have to follow that rule. So for example, if I go up like this, your response should be to go down. You always have to keep chasing my tail. Always. Because, let's say for example, I'm going to delete all of this. Let me see, how do I put this? So what you want to do is, you always have to try to make your trajectory aim towards my tail here. But on some situations when I'm offsetting, I will do something like, I don't know, maybe like this. Maybe do a shallow turn like this and try to land on you from here. Look, I'm basically just cutting across the entire trajectory and kind of coming around here. And you can see, like, I'm basically kind of biting tiny little bits of position here, right? So just tiny little bits. You can see here, I'm not making the change very aggressively. I'm just doing it very shallow. And I'm basically gaining tiny little bits of position here. So what you have to do is, in response to that, you also have to make a kind of a shallow change to the same direction. That way, you can see that here, when my trajectory goes around, I'm not getting any more like position here, because now you're running away from my trajectory, kind of. You can see here your direction of travel is here, so you already compensated for this, right? And I think possibly the best way to explain it is on a Discord, questions. So you go hit here to questions, to fundamentals for dueling. Here. Let me see if I can open this. Here, so you go to this thread, fundamentals for dueling, and I basically do a fuck ton of jab of everything I just mentioned about offsetting here. You can see I have some fucking NFTs and shit. And
Okay.
I actually have some other more examples of me using like all 3 dimensions to rate fight. So I basically do exactly that. And I basically just have a bunch of examples of what I'm doing, how to cut across, how to create an offset, and when an offset exists. And actually, if you want to have an idea of what to actually do during a raid fight, you could watch gameplay recordings. Wait, no, it's not here. Let me see if I can just paste it in there. So the latest duels I did against Yacht, he actually knows really fucking well how to counter offsets. So you go to live streams and you go to this stream, getting violated by the CS player here. So I'm basically dogfighting against Yacht. And here you can see like during the entirety of the fights, it doesn't matter what kind of offset I try to use against him, he always just counter it properly. And as a matter of fact, if you want to learn a little bit more about offsets, you should probably duel against him because, well, it's always a good idea to get the opinions and, you know, explanations from different people. So instead of just learning only from me, you could always just try to learn from others. But Yacht, in this case, if you want to duel him, go ahead. He actually explains really well what he does and how. So if you want to learn offsetting and raid fighting, you should definitely duel against him. Pretty much.
Okay. I'll go and watch that stream.
So that's pretty much
Seems
it. So
interesting.
once again, remember, a raid fight is basically a tail chase. So red is you, blue is me. And remember, we're basically just going in circles like around a sphere. So your trajectory is going to go in this direction, and you can see it comes around all the way and lands here, right? So you're basically chasing my tail. If you take a look at all the way around, your trajectory is going towards my tail, right? So what offsetting is that I am going to take some shallow turns in whatever direction, kind of like this. And here you can see that if I maintain my trajectory here, and I go all the way around to you, I might be able to just buy tiny little chunks of position from you. So just getting a little bit. So your counter to this should be to also make a shallow turn in this direction. Just not immediately, just make very shallow, very softly. So you can see that your trajectory actually compensates with this one and neutralizes it. It's pretty much.
Okay.
So it basically is just raid fighting to create angles and just using all 3 dimensions of space. So using changes in altitude and whatnot. So let's say, for example, another example of an offset is, this is a top view. So this is not 3 dimensions. This is just basically a look from above. So this is an offset. Let's say blue is me, red is you. So this is an offset because there is, like, the circles are not overlapping each other perfectly. So this basically means that there's going to be some areas on this trajectory, for example here, you can see there's a lot of separation. And this other area here, we're going to get very close to each other. So for example, if we are raid fighting like this, and we have a lot of separation, if I have a little bit more speed than you, or maybe if I have enough altitude, then I can just basically cash in all of my energy and just cut across and intercept you here. So what I would usually do is, if you see an offset like this, you can try to extend away. Like if you can keep eyes on the opponent and read his energy state, like whenever he decides to tighten down the circle, which is maybe going to be like this, you should also tighten down. And when he extends away to regain speed, you should always also do the same. So it's kind of like mirroring whatever your opponent is doing. Try to do the exact same shit that he is doing. But yeah, what I was basically doing during this raid fights is, like, initially there was no offset between us, so both circles were like kind of perfectly overlapping each other, kind of like this. And what I was doing is I was extending away on some areas and then tightening down on some others. And this basically allowed me to create an offset and bring my circle further away from yours. So this basically means that because both circles are further away from yours, further away from each other, this basically means there's going to be some areas where we're going to be very far away and some other areas where we're going to be very close. And if I have, say for example, if there's an offset and maybe you are here and I'm slightly in a better position, like here, for example. So you can see that instead of being here, I'm actually slightly closer to your 6. And you can see here in the following seconds that I actually have a lot of separation to just regain my speed or just actually intercept your flight path. So if I wanted to kill you here, for example, I would do something like this, maybe. Extend away here a little bit and then maybe land on top of you here. And the thing is, you might not be able to have a tight enough circle to counter this. So even if you pull a little bit harder here, it doesn't matter. I'm already very close to your 6. So that basically means that the way I've tried to raid fight is I try to extend away on some areas and tighten down my turn on some other areas to create this. I basically create this. So depending if I'm closer to your 6, like I'm right here and you're right here, you can see that if I time it perfectly, not only do I have a bunch of separation, but also I'm actually closer to your 6, so I actually have more opportunities to just cash in all my energy and go aggressive on you. That's pretty much how it is. And these offsets like not only happen horizontally, but they can also happen vertically. So if this is going to be a side view, so this is going to be altitude. So this is going to be altitude. Vertical axis is going to be altitude. So let's say, for example, you only stick to raid fighting on the deck. So you're just basically doing circles on the deck like this, right? So this is you. What happens if I'm also doing some circles on the deck with you, but you actually allow me to get some altitude, and I end up getting like here? Say, for example, I'm on top of you like this, and there's maybe like 1 kilometer of altitude difference. That means that I have created some separation with you, and if I time it correctly, I can just cash in all my energy and just cut across the entire trajectory and just basically go offensive on you. So in a raid fight, if you want to prevent this from happening, if you see your opponent is raid fighting on a deck and then eventually they start gaining altitude like this, you should also go up with them. That way you are at the exact same altitude and you prevent him from getting separation. Because if you're on the deck and you allowed your opponent to go up and he gets like this, that basically means he has separation over you, and because he is on top, he has altitude. That means whenever he decides to dive down to cut you off, gravity is going to help you, is going to help him to retain his speed. So having an opponent above you basically means that they can just cash in all their energy and actually have gravity help them to just pull really hard for a very long time. They just basically land on top of you. So what you have to do is, if you see your opponent is kind of like flying a little bit too high above you, you should always try to also go high to prevent them from getting all of this separation and angles.
Wouldn't if I go vertical with him in that, wouldn't that give him my tail?
No, because the changes in altitude don't happen like immediately. So for example, if you're raid fighting, you're just gonna start gaining altitude slowly. You're not going to do it immediately because you're basically just gonna have given your 6. So like once again, you have to make the changes very, very like slowly, so to say. So what I was doing, for example, on merge is I was going like slightly vertical and I was getting some altitude on top of you. Right, so this is me. And on merge, you also did the same. We merged with each other. You also went up, and we ended up getting at the exact same altitude, kind of similarly. But then, on some situations, I was on top of you, and you stayed down there a little bit too long, and you basically allowed me to just cash in all of my energy and land on top of you. So if you see your opponent going up, you should also be going up, kind of at the same rate that he is going. So if you're raid fighting on a deck, you don't necessarily have to do this. No, you should just keep doing some circles and slowly start cashing in your energy, right? So slowly go up. Because if you go way too aggressively, then it just basically means you allow the opponent to take a huge shortcut towards you and intercept you. Make sense? Did I explain myself well enough?
Yes. Yes, but
Yes.
I'll have to do it a lot, like a dueling a lot more to actually apply everything.
Yeah, well,
That's the key.
That's the key. Like, dueling and dogfighting is like learning math. It doesn't matter how much you read the books, you're not gonna learn absolutely anything if you don't practice.
Exactly. Perfect explanation.
That's why it sucks. It's like math. Damn.
Here,
That's
I'll
why
put
it's
it
so-
into perspective. I'll put it in perspective of how much dueling like matters for actually applying it. Me went back when I was a little baby at dueling, and my plane was the 14A. Me and I got washed one day, and me and Butter saw that, and he's like, "Okay, me and you are gonna do some 14A," and it was like we started at 11 o'clock. Actually, no, it was like 10, and we played till like 2 in the morning. And every time one of us killed each other, we would go, one more.
one more.
And
Yeah.
yeah, literally one more. And we ended up to like Butters eventually was like, okay, we're like pretty even now. Like the scoreboard was obviously not even because he would get me a lot in the start. However, he would like we were basically trading punches with each other to where like it was if we restarted it, we were gonna be pretty even. So like that like dueling like that, obviously you don't want to like burn yourself out, but if you fight like different people and like do it consistently, you're gonna definitely start to like be able to see like the lines or like the offsets like Sinful taught you and be able to make quicker decisions that will help you win the fight,
Yeah. Like, you need to duel quite a lot, and you also hopefully need to duel different people. And that's literally, like, at least recently, there's a bunch of people just dueling all the time in the server. So instead of only, like, dueling against me, because I'm gonna be honest, I have a really hard time holding back. You should maybe try dueling people with slightly less experience, even if that sounds, like, kind of mean. Because if you actually fight against people who make more mistakes, then you'll be able to actually see them like, oh, wait, I have an opening right now. You can just make it count and kill them. Right. So
Okay.
I think next time you should maybe try to ping Yacht and tell him to practice some right fighting and offsetting with you, because he actually knows how to
I
explain
need
it
to
really
do
well.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have
So
to
you
fight
Alright.
Jot.
So it just basically means that like when I was dueling against Yacht, when I was right fighting against him, every single time I tried to offset, he always just countered it perfectly. Like, pretty much perfectly. And a bunch of those fights ended up being, like, kind of fuel fights. And some others he won, some others I won. But, it's how it is. It's basically just kind of mirroring what your opponent is doing. And whoever doesn't mirror the opponent as well for just a few seconds just creates an opening and the other guy kills him. And, well,
Alright.
sadly, I think offsetting and right fighting in War Thunder is a lot more punishing than it should be, because, well, flight models are busted, and this thing can pull 15 Gs with manual control. So it's not like real life where you can just basically maintain perfect right fight and you eventually win. Or the other pilot just becomes fucking exhausted from trying to follow you. So, yeah, War Thunder is gonna be a lot more punishing. Like, you could see on some of those rounds we just played, I was like, oh, I have enough energy here to just pull him in and shoot. And, like, literally, you just make a fucking mistake for just a moment, and that's literally just enough to lose the fight. So, yeah, TLDR is just, sadly, you're just gonna have to keep dueling. And, like, overall, when I fought against you in the flanker, like, you're actually pretty good at slow speeds. You know what you're doing. So now your goal is to just practice the other side of the coin, which is right fighting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I've been trying to do. But I kind of suck at it. But I'll
Man.
try to
You'll
get
get better.
better.
We all fucking suck at some point. I remembered, like, literally the very first person I dueled. was like the beginning of last year. The very first person I dueled was Chess. And I got fucking violated. And then like literally in the same week, I'm basically just hanging out in BC, waiting for one of the friends to show up or whatever. And fucking Squishface joins, drunk as fuck, and he's like, "Oh, hey, Simply Sinful, I know you're pretty decent in EC. You want to run some rounds of duels?" He's like, "Oh, I got this fucking bottle of whatever the fuck whiskey. I'm about to open it." And he was literally blasting himself with alcohol. He was literally intoxicated, and he fucking mopped the floor with me.
How
Literally.
is he? Is he like? Did he be the
This
one
is
to duel
good.
as well, aside from Yacht?
I don't think he will agree to just duel. Like he's basically just in this server for the vibes. Like his dueling arc, teaching arc for top tier is pretty much over. He doesn't really play top tier for duels anymore. So
Wow.
Yeah, he's more of a prop dueler.
yeah, so instead you should either ask Chess, but it's kind of difficult because he's like super busy, or you can just ask Yacht. I think Yacht is the way to go, or T-Rex. Like T-Rex also knows.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, T-Rex, whether or not he likes to admit it, he is purple for a reason. Like he knows the cook. He knows how to cook.
I can cook when I need to cook.
Yes, he just locks in and just fucking win. Just win, bro.
Literally, I learned from the
That's
best.
the strat.
I learned the ancient dueler technique of just pulling when it feels right.
The fucking Butters technique. It's like Butters
Wait,
Butters got absolutely violated by Squish for 2 years straight until he got good, and then Butters taught you how to duel, and then
Yeah.
and then I learned from Butters, and then I think I reached a point where he was also learning from me, and we all three of us ended up learning from each other. So literally every single duel is kind of like just almost perfect mirrors.
Right? That's exactly what
Nice.
that's what it feels like. Like eventually I learned like cuz he got his F-15A aced, and then like I eventually like I couldn't just like rate fight him normally, so I would do like what I kind of like watch from Squish, which is like a weird, it was like a weird version of his Mirage line where like I could like Butters couldn't touch me and I couldn't touch him, but like we would just be going like up and down, and like I'd be lead turning then lag turning. It was like like he was like, "Stop doing that," and I'm like, "No."
Yeah, it's basically the Mirage 2000 trajectory where the Mirage does not outrate the F-15, but you can make it so you always stay inside his circle. So he cannot outrate you, and if he tries to go aggressive, you actually have enough SCP and left to just evade it and force a stall fight. So it's kind of like, hey, well, I'm sitting here inside your circle. You can just raid fight as much as you want and make it into a fuel fight, but you're never gonna get enough angles. So
Literally, womp womp moment.
Mirage 2000 trajectory is like, oh, nice raid fighting, Bo. So I'm inside your circle 24/7. You cannot do yak shit about it.
Outside of your walls.
Outside your walls. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna call this stream here. I'm gonna call it GG's.
GG's,
GG's.
thank you.
GG's. GG's.
Okay.